Awez, and today we're reacting to the story of Ignatius Mpumulelo Hill, Mbali Hill, and Nompulele Gumbe. This is more of like a mixture. I'll be honest with you guys, I've been looking for South African videos to bring to you all, but I haven't been finding any South African creators beside Media Gang Bros, which maybe it's because of how South Africa is when it comes to YouTube space. But yeah, bro, so if you have any suggestions on like what's the South African videos that I will want me to react to, just comment down below. So without further ado, comment, like, subscribe, let's go.
I am back with another true crime video, and today we are going to be doing the story of Ignatius Mpumelelo Hill, Mbali Antoinette Hill, and Nompulele Gumede. Now, if you're new to this channel, I try and do these videos often, so please do check out the playlist. I've done a couple already, and I will be doing more in the near future. Now, before we dive into today's video, I do just have one disclaimer. This case is extremely new. It recently just happened at the end of July of 2025, and therefore I do have to stress that these are still allegations because they're yet to be tested in a court of law. Now, with that said, and without wasting any more time, let's dive into today's video. Today's video takes us to Emalahleni Witbank in Mpumalanga. Mpumelelo Ignatius Hill was born on the 20th of June 2000. He comes from a relatively normal background where he lived with his sister and mother. He went to FH Kabela Secondary School where he matriculated with a bachelor. Growing up, Mpumelelo was a normal kid, not too problematic, did well at school and was well behaved. When he was around 13 years old, he then started obsessing around writing music, specifically hip hop and rap. He also obsessed about the possibility of becoming the next biggest South African hip hop artist. In 2015, he started recording his own music, pursuing more of his passion, to the extent of which when he completed matric, he then went on to study sound engineering. At this point, his whole life revolved around hip hop. If he wasn't writing lyrics, he was recording them. Luckily for him, he surrounded himself with a group of friends who also shared the same aspirations. They would spend each and every moment of their days working towards being the next biggest hip-hop artist.
Yo, for all my artists out there, guys, how hard is it to really like pop off for real? Right, like how hard is it to really make that suck? Because it to me, when I look at it, bro, it seems like it's impossible for you to make money unless you had a connection or because of TikTok. Other than that, it's just like, you're not even like counted. You don't even get any money, bro. It's like you should just do this for free. So, like, how is it exactly? Do you get any money? Do you not? Is it like maybe you do this for the passion of it? Which, I mean, can't fault you. A lot of people do a lot of things for the passion of it.
However, at some point, it stopped being just about the music. Hip-hop started being his whole identity. He wanted to have the hip-hop street cred, the aggression, and be outlaw cultured. The lyrics to his music were tough and confrontational, and he too was always ready to prove himself. He started taking substances and was now notorious for being rough around the edges and a little dangerous. Around 2021, when his grandmother passed away, him and his little sister, Mbali Antoinette Hill, moved to Vosman in Mpumelelweni in Emalahleni, where she stayed. Next door to the house that they moved into was Nompulele Gumede's house, who was around 17 years old at the time. She lived with her mother, Shelly Mlanjeni. Now, I do have to stress, it's going to be a little bit confusing because Nompulele next door and Mpumelele's names are a bit similar. Kindly take note of that. It is just coincidental. So when Mpumelele, the guy, moved in next door, and he first met Nompulele, the girl who was around 17 years old at the time, he was immediately interested in her, and he was around 22 years old.
Why don't you just like call them by their surname, like Mr. Hill, Miss Gumede? Like, why don't you just do that? It would be much more easier. But, you know, hindsight is 2020.
In no time, Nompulele and Mpumelelo were dating and they were spending a lot of time together. Months into their relationship, Nompulele fell pregnant and the couple welcomed their first child together. The transition of them moving from just being girlfriend and boyfriend to now being parents was not a smooth one because for the most part, they were still very young. They were both children. Nompulele wasn't working while Mpumelelo, on the other hand, was working odd jobs and was spending the bulk majority of his time trying to push his passion of hopefully becoming this big hip-hop artist one day. So most of the money that he would get through his hustles was going towards funding his dreams. His friends and him would spend a lot of their time just indoors recording or writing music. They would buy alcohol, sit in the lounge of one of the friends' houses, and they would just have listening sessions or writing sessions for their music. And if they were not doing this, they were out and about in eMalahleni shooting music videos. They shot music videos in parking lots, in swimming pools, in the streets, anywhere around eMalahleni, and anytime they were shooting music videos. And because of his passion and slight obsession, he was able to push his project to the extent of which he released an EP that he named Heal Endgame that was released on all streaming platforms, although it did not do too well. While he was doing all of
Snap out on all streaming platforms. Oh, bro, remind myself Sniper. Remember that one? I don't think you'll know that one. Stillos. I forgot him. But yeah. I just stop getting distracted and just like
this, Mpumelelo was raising their newborn child. The relationship started getting strained, although it continued. And within no time, Mpumelelo also started being violent towards Mpumelelo, constantly laying his hands on her. And this went on from 2023 and progressively got worse over time. Now, when Mpumelelo's mom found out about this, she then told Mpumelelo to end the relationship, one, and two, to get a protection order. However, Shirley, Mpumelelelo's mom, says that Mpumelelo did not take this well. She felt like her mom was against her and was not supporting her, to the extent of which she refused to end the relationship. So nonetheless, the relationship...
Again, bro, like, guys, I know how it is, bro. Like, not personally, but like, I've seen so many, like, people being basically abusive relationships and they don't want to leave. They really don't want to leave. And I don't know the psychology. And I don't think I could ever understand the psychology. But we as the people around these people, we got to find a way to really, like, you know what I'm saying? We need to really do find a way. We have to. Because we can't say, bro, leave them. They're going to figure it out. Hey, bro, what if they never figure it out? What if now you got to go to a funeral because you couldn't talk to your cousin or to your sister or to your brother, to your whatever, that, hey, yo, you got to get out of that relationship. What? We got to do better sometimes, guys. And I'm not trying to say that it's on us or it's our fault. Of course it's not. But if you really care about somebody, you shouldn't be giving up that easily. Some of us, we just give up too easily, bro. We really gotta stop that.
Between Mpumelelo and Mpumelelo continued, although it was so tumultuous. It was so violent to the extent that most neighbors would report hearing constant arguments and bangs coming from the house. Just a week before the incident, the couple had had one of the big arguments they normally had. On this occasion, Mpumelelo's aunt says Mpumelelo broke the kitchen window with his bare fist in anger. And on these occasions, Mpumelelo would go back home next door, and when Mpumelelo calmed down, he would go back and asked for forgiveness. In this particular event, he fixed the window, he acted remorseful, and all was forgiven. And such occurrences were frequent. Mpumelelo would act remorseful. He would even go as far as telling his mom that he needed to see a traditional healer. He believed that something was wrong with him. But when it was actually time now to follow through with that, he wouldn't. About a week after the window incident, on the 23rd of July 2025, the couple got into yet another altercation. Now, according to Mpumelelelo's mom, for whatever reason, Mpumelelo was not home, and he texted Mpumelelo to say that she needs to get out of the house and go home, and she needed to do this before he gets back home. He got back home around past 5 a.m. in the morning. Mpumelelo was still in the house, but she was getting ready, she was getting dressed to leave and go back home, and an altercation ensued. Mbali, the sister, then came in, tried to intervene between the two of them. As they were doing all of that, the two girls rushed into one of the bedrooms in the house. This is when Mpumelelo went out of the house. He went to the car and he was spotted by some of the neighbors. He went to the car and this is when he got some petrol. I don't think the girls were aware where he had gone to or what he was going to do. They possibly even thought that he had left the house again. But lo and behold, he was in the car getting petrol. He got back into the house. He doused them with petrol. He locked the door. and he continued pouring petrol even underneath the door. He then went into the living room. He poured himself a glass of gin and he sat down and he started drinking. And that time he had lit that bedroom up and everything was on fire. As he sat drinking his gin, the girls were screaming. They were calling out for help. And luckily, the neighbors were able to hear them. And they rushed to the house. They also saw the smoke coming out of the house. They rushed to the house. And when they got there, they met Mpumelelo, who was sitting calmly in the living room and he was drinking his alcohol.
Beku 3 minutes past 6 ekseni mangiphuma ngiya e-shop eMandiyeni. So umfana ngimthole ase
I really have nothing to say about that. That's crazy.
Karini makuvela mina wabhaca nge-RDP ukuthi ngingaboni ukuthi uphetheni but bekaphethe something esandleni. So ngaye eMandiyeni by nangiphuma 3 minutes past 6 ngo-10 past ngithola umlilo sewuyavutha uphuma ngeroof umfana uhleli e-dining room akafuna ukusinikeza izikhiya.
They begged Mpumelelo for the keys. They begged him quite a bit because time was of the essence. They couldn't beg him any longer. They couldn't wait any longer for him to give them the keys. So the neighbors decided to knock down the door to the bedroom because the girls were still screaming and asking for help. Luckily, they were able to knock the door down. Mbali and Mpumelelo were both still alive. One of the things that Mbali said, who was still communicating at this point, was that Mpumelelo did this to us. The girls were quickly taken to hospital. Shirley, Mpumelo's mom, was right by her side throughout the whole thing, comforting and consoling her. When they got to hospital, one of the last things that Mpumelelo said before slipping into a coma was, "I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm sorry for not listening to you. I'm sorry for not listening when you warned me about Mpumelelo. Please look after my daughter." And immediately after this, she slipped into a coma. The two girls were severely injured. They both had third-degree burns. The prognosis was not good. For the next week, both families were in and out of the Witbank hospital praying and hoping.
Nah. Go to jail, bro. Go to jail. Go directly to jail, bro. Go directly to jail, bro. Just go to the jail, bro. For real. Go to jail. Go to jail. Go to jail. If it was possible, I wish the death sentence was back. Like, nigga, you do that to your own sister, bro? To the mother of your children, bro? Like, what are you? What? Bro, nigga gotta go, bro. Gotta go, bro. That's okay, really gotta go, dog. For real. For real. I don't, there's no redeeming that type of shit. There isn't. There is no redeeming, bro.
For their recovery.
Because if you can literally do that to your own flesh and blood, bro, to your mother of your kids, bro, then we can't trust you in society. We can't. Can you trust him? Can you? I can't.
We are heartbroken as the family. We were not expecting this to happen to her. She is very young and she was burned like a hated person. I can't cope. I can't eat or sleep.
I doubt. Because
the way the doctors have described the extent of the burns all over her body and inside, I doubt she will make it. There is little hope that she will pull through.
Unfortunately, both girls kept deteriorating. At this point, Mpumelelo had already been arrested for attempting to take their lives, but the charge would soon be upgraded because a little over a week later, the doctors called both families stating that their conditions had deteriorated and their kidneys were failing. They were no longer responding to medication. Mbali Antoinette Hill, Mpumelelo Hill's sister, succumbed to her injuries on the 1st of August 2025. She was only 23 years old. A day later, on the 2nd of August 2025, Mpumelelo Gumede succumbed to her injuries as well. She was only 21 years years old. Charges against
That's fucked up, gents. Owens, that is fucked up. Owens, that is fucked up. That is fucked up, Owens. Right there, that one there. That one there. Your own family, though, bruh. The mother of your kids. I said this already, but, like, nah. You know what, bro? It's just like
Mpumelelo Hill were upgraded, and he was
Gotta
then
have self-esteem
formally
if you wanna
charged
keep
for
on
taking
reacting to
both
these
their
type of
lives. Fearing for his life, abandoned his bail application and will be appearing again in court on the 27th of October 2025. This is about 2 months from the time that I'm recording this video. It is still early days for this case. We'll be keeping an eye on it and updating you guys as time goes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
If love was blind.
Oh. Pause. Do you pause? Yeah, pause. Yeah, it was a crazy video, and like, I don't think there could be like anything that can be said when it comes to the court case. I think this is an open and shut case, to be honest with you. There was no other quote unquote there was no other suspect besides that Oki. Clearly there's eyewitnesses of him taking a container and basically going inside there. And yeah, from the court side, I don't think this Oki is really gonna win this one at all, especially now with the media coverage happening. It's like, bro, what you gonna say? You can't even hide the dockets anymore. I don't think he even has the money to hide a docket of this magnitude. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. Another thing too is that the point that you gotta do this to your own family is crazy, bro. I'll say this when I start accusing. It's just crazy, bro. I couldn't do that, bro. I don't see myself doing that. Now, I don't want to say, yo, I would want to beat that nigga up, because I know realistically, I'm not going to beat that nigga up. I'm going to find this Oki. And even if I did find this Oki, I'm not the type of person to be getting myself into these type of situations where I got to fight somebody and all those things. But if I was in the trunk, I would do the worst to this Oki. That's for sure. I would do the worst to him. Going against family. Nah. You need to be made an example of. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So, hey, bro. Hopefully this nigga gets the maximum sentencing. And, I mean, if he is found guilty. Because what if there's another story that we don't know of? But I don't think there is. I really don't. But, hey, you want to see? Without further ado, thank you for watching the rest of the video. Thank you for chilling with your Owen. Comment, like, subscribe, and let's done. No, wait. Thank you for watching the rest of the video. Thank you for chilling with your Owen. Comment, like, subscribe. Until next time, I've been the Lost Owen. Yeah.